So I get the okay on there. There we go. Yeah. All right. Here it is. Okay. We good. Jump into the Magic game first. Then probably talk about the road or the full homestand. And then feel like not a whole lot happened today, but I feel like I probably didn't have the Lakers stuff in. Probably talk Lakers, but I want to do Brooklyn, New Orleans. New Orleans play today. I'll be good. Charlotte, Milwaukee, and Knicks, Raptors. But if you're looking, I got stuff. But we can bounce around. I got any stuff y'all want to talk about. But we'll start Warriors. I would figure, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. All right. I can't explain it. Your mama raised you. Your dad raised you. And on Sunday. I can't explain it. Oh, I wonder if I should. I wonder if you can get copyright for that. Probably not. Probably doesn't stop.
Perfect timing. I'll be always worried. I was like, oh, I didn't watch the game. I didn't watch the game. Tip off right now, right when we start.
Wait, say it again?
Tip off right now.
Oh, the game's on. Gotcha, gotcha,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Like I just checked Hulu. So usually it comes on after like a couple times. Easy. Oh, nope. Just literally jump ball as soon as I turned
Yeah.
it on. It was a jump ball.
Usually started at midnight, right around then. I don't know if anybody wants to watch that one. It was a rough one. That was
Yeah.
ugly. Weird, ugly.
Like, y'all could watch. I mean, Jordan said he watched a lot of it. So like, y'all can go. Y'all probably go back and forth on it. We'll see. I'll say.
Yeah. Boom, 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 boom. Zion exists in 30. I can't explain it. Oh, yeah, I can change that. One second. This podcast on Spotify. One second, my bad. You have been listening.
Now, welcome to the second floor.
All right, my bad. Okay, we're good. Here we go. Y'all ready?
Yeah.
All right. two, one. Oh, blah blah blah. There we go. Three, two, one. Welcome to the Garage, an NBA live show presented by N.B.H Sports. My name is Mike, and with me today is.
Daniel Doom.
J.B.H.
And we're gonna jump right into it today. Talk some Warriors basketball. It had been a pretty good road trip or pretty good homestand to this point. Last couple games have been rough. We'll talk about the Orlando game. And jump to some general NBA. Somewhat quiet night in the league today. But yesterday, a lot of interesting things to go into and kind of talk about. And a good point, we're getting close to the halfway point of the season, so a good time to jump in and kind of get a feel for how hot and cold we are in certain teams in the league, let's say. But let's jump in with some Warriors Magic talk. Any initial thoughts coming off the night? An ugly game is probably the first thing I think of, at least from the Warriors' perspective. But any initial thoughts on the loss to the Magic tonight?
Man, every time I watch a whole game, we get popped. I'm starting to realize this. But, yeah, it was ugly. I ain't gonna lie. I was watching it at work, so it was pretty frustrating. It was, but I don't know. Clay sat out last minute, and yeah, Wiggins' first game back probably wasn't as pretty, but it was. I don't know. Can't really be too mad at it. It's the first game, big adjustment from Dre, or pretty much Draymond going from just getting adjusted to Clay to just to only having Wiggins for a game. So I don't know. Next game might be ugly too, because if Clay comes back, I feel like it's just I don't know. It's just a big adjustment. One player, it could be a big adjustment on a team like ours this year.
Yeah, that was the thing for the Warriors about in the past too. Is they kind of take a couple. You don't notice as much when you're kind of playing well in general for the most part, or you're winning games kind of more
Yeah,
consistently. But they always take a minute to. I feel like Joe, when pieces are coming in and out, it's
yeah,
part of the system they play. Who's getting the shots, where the shots coming from, who are we playing through. But yeah, I think you hit on every reason why it was such an ugly game. Let's get out the way. It was a tough one. Like I haven't seen the Warriors offense look that stagnant or like that unable to get anything kind of going. There's been stretches, but I think for a whole game or really everything past the first quarter, it felt like just unable to get anything really going offensively. But I think you hit on it. Losing Clay at the last minute, probably just it's tough for your game planning to do something different on offense. Then you got to deal with a guy not being there, bringing Wiggins into the mix. And I think it's just catching up to him. The fact that they probably pulled out, I wouldn't say all five wins, but all of those games felt like they kind of were pulling wins out of their ass in one way or another, and it seems like it's kind of just catching up. It's like these last two games have been catching up with, and this is kind of the team you guys are. You've been playing out of your heads for a little bit, but with the injuries the way they are, they were kind of due for some stinkers, and we're in the middle of two of those, so we'll see where it goes from there. Any thoughts? You know, I don't know if you caught some glimpses, but any thoughts just on the state of the team? If you want to jump into the state of the homestand, how they've been playing. Yeah, any thoughts?
No, it was interesting. I didn't see much of the game, but to hear both of your guys' perspective on it, definitely feels like, yeah, like they had to slow down at some point after what was kind of just a really, really impressive streak there that really shocked. I think it was shocking all of us. Um, but what I did catch was I think Pitt said the Magic have only lost like two of their last 7 or 8 games or something like that. It was
They
something
had
pretty
a.
impressive. I don't,
He was referring to a run they had, like that stretch where they beat the Celtics back to back. They were like
yeah, that was a
seven
part
and
of
nine or
that,
like
but this
9-11 stretch. I think that's what he was referring to. That's a little bit in the past now,
okay,
but
okay,
yeah.
okay, a little bit past that. Yeah, they're just such an interesting team. The times that I've jumped in and out on them this season, so I can get why it seems like maybe a frustrating loss for a team who's been playing, no matter who you are, Warriors or not, a frustrating loss to lose to the Magic when you've been winning, you've been putting consecutive wins together. But from what I've seen, the Orlando Magic are a very interesting team, and I'm just not surprised at all. I guess we're looking at even just the box score here, seeing that any given night, I feel like they can give teams a lot of problems. Just seem really interested in who do we? The game before this was Detroit, right? You just I feel like two teams that are just so interesting. I feel like that on a night to night basis, you never know how hard of a punch you're actually going to get from them, and if you're not in the right, so you're dealing with the Clay Wiggins Clay being out, last minute dynamics. You can see Wiggins' first game back dynamic is just one of those games where you do get sucker punched by the
Hmm.
Pistons and the Magic because there's talent on those. There's talent. Talent. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Let's see if I can get the box score up so the people can see it. But yeah, no, I think Bankero was probably one of the biggest standouts. He just had himself a really good night actually.
Yeah.
I think
Oh,
25
he's a
points, but just he kind of worked. I mean, every time I feel like the Warriors kind of got something going, he ran off some buckets or hit a big shot. So, um,
I feel like that's what I would say. Feel like maybe this transitions into the kind of the streak or everything since Christmas that we've seen. But Clay, as quickly as Clay found himself, with him being out for a game, I think just interesting to see how quickly they learned to rely on Clay when it felt like that was never something we were going to be able to do this season.
yeah,
And then
yeah,
it quickly became relying on Clay for offense. Hearing you talk about Mike talk about the offense and how bad it looks today, or how
hmm
how how frustrating how tough it looks today. But I could see that Clay really became this light that we did not. Clay became this light that we kind of did not see coming, given how dark his season started, and just to all of a sudden, last minute scratch him out the lineup, coming off of a loss, the first one of those we've had in a while. I could see just them looking really bad on one or both of ends of the court. Especially offense the way this team is. It feels like, and like you guys like said, what Jordan was saying with the Wiggins thing, because it could take a while for this team to like figure things out. And like Mike, you piggybacked on that is they slow things down to figure it out. It's why the beginning of the years are so frustrating because they really slowed Steph Curry really slowed things down to figure out what the hell they're working with. So anytime one little piece changes, like it is something it can throw them off a lot because they're gonna slow things down no matter what and try to figure out what to do next because the pieces change. So today was a weird day. Clay late scratch, Wiggins back in the lineup, and that old man,
and
number
test
nine,
test.
yeah. You there? I got you.
Long.
decided,
Okay.
decided to put the kicks on.
And our leading scorer, or did he lead in scoring?
Who was
Anthony
it?
Lamb.
Oh boy,
Yeah, if
Yeah,
he's our best player, yeah, this
yeah.
not. Yeah, we gotta gonna
this
make
this
some adjustments. Draymond and Steve gotta
Figure
get in
something
the
out. Yeah,
lab.
yeah.
Andre Iguodala, 12 minutes, 0.0000.00. That's my dog.
And hey, no, even,
What did he get?
even. I
What did he
think
get? Oh yeah, he's even.
he was even somehow. I don't know that, or no, that's points. My bad. I think it might be off. Yeah, no, I'm still even. Yeah, somehow, some way,
0 points and
zero
even.
points even. But yeah, no. Any other thoughts? Here's some points I think I want to get on, kind of more like big picture or just homestand big picture. But any other thoughts just on this game? Again, it's a weird game. Bankero looked good. I don't know. Magic are a team like this. If you caught them enough, they're a young team. They're gonna be days that doesn't like this, but when it does come together, they got a lot of young talent. It came together really well. I think all their guards played well. We're hitting
I
shots.
think
And
that was
boy, your
my
boy
first
Markel.
time.
Yeah, go
Oh
ahead. My
yeah,
bad.
Oh my
no,
boy.
that was my. Yeah, Markel was going crazy, and what's it called? Ben Carroll. That was my first
Yeah,
time actually watching just a full Magic game. So
yeah,
trying
yeah.
to, I don't know who to compare Benkera to. Like, it's not K. I feel like he's stronger than KD already. It's just like,
Mm-hmm.
or yeah, at least comparing like rookie year to rookie year. Maybe like
Yeah,
KD's,
yeah.
maybe even KD's like first 3 or 4 years.
Say
It's
it's
like
different comp.
he's
You
already
said because
stronger.
he's
It's just
He's
I
body
want him to
type.
shoot more threes.
Yeah.
Honestly, just yeah, you
Well,
know what
he's
I mean. I
hitting
feel
them,
like it's
man.
gonna come along.
Yeah. He hit four, I think,
um,
today against the Warriors. But I was gonna say
Yeah,
it's weird. He has more of a he's got more like Ben Simmons body type
yeah,
than KD as far as just like I guess projects. That projector probably even could fill out a little more. I think the thing that stands out with him is he's just kind of a force attacking the rim actually, and he's got pretty good touch with the jumper already. So yeah,
yeah.
it's hard to find a comp. It's
I
weird.
got
It almost
I got
feels
two
like
names. Go
LeBron,
ahead.
like but obviously not LeBron. But he's got like really
yeah.
similar style of play, like at least in how he kind of attack the game as a scorer. He's not as LeBron as a passer, like really on offense, but as a
Yeah,
scorer at least he's got similar
yeah.
vibes to me.
I got the real Jabari Parker and Corey Maggette, which I feel he's better than both of those things, but that's all the
Hmm.
comp I really have for him now. Is like a much better version of Corey Maggette in a more modern game, coming from a more modern game, and then
Yeah.
a much more evolved version of Jabari Parker. Like to get back with Jabari Parker, like kind of what
Hmm.
Jabari Parker was kind of supposed to be. He's gonna hit all. This dude definitely already hit potential, whereas Jabari like it was so questionable what was going to happen those first couple years. Like, how do we know this is 28 games? It's going to be 28 games. Whatever the hell happens, going from here is all star to superstar level, I guess. But I don't know. Yeah, those are two names I probably compare that dude to. It's the physicality, the eating the contact, getting his own bucket. So like those are things Corey Maggette did, and I think things we thought Jabari Parker was going to do.
Yeah, no, the core. I mean, the physicality in his game. I get the Corey Maggette there. I think that's a good way to try to kind of capture the way he attacks, or like kind of seeks out contact on drives and stuff like that. I think Jason Tatum's just realized Jabari Parker, which I think that's kind of the thing. That is the part with Paolo that is interesting, where he brings that kind of physicality. I think you were saying Maggette is good. I was saying like LeBron again, not like because of that level, but just a style like kind of thing. But I think you mixing that with what he seems to he wants to add early on in the game is the Duke mid range, the Duke tall mid range shooter thing, the Ingram, the Tatum, kind of that part, and being able to hit from different spots on the court. So, yeah, we'll see, man. Kid looks really good. It's cool to finally get to see him. Yeah, your boy Markel had some good moments. Good, he's got mid range jumper down. But yeah, no. Overall, again, not a whole lot. It felt like a loss. Just once it kind of started to get away, it just kind of got away. He couldn't really feel it come together. Lamb was the only bright spot, and even that kind of disappeared in the second half because, like Jordan's saying, you don't want to rely on a two-way guy or just a guy of Lamb's caliber to be the person carrying the offense. Which again, never is the plan. He was just kind of masking the fact the offense really wasn't great all day.
What did Poole shoot?
It was bad again. Let's see. I'll go back to the box score real quick, see if there's anything else. We want 5 for 17, 2 for 11 from 3, 9 for 10 from the line. Yeah, I'm just starting to get to the point. I don't think he's going to make threes this year. I don't think it's going to happen with any real consistency. It just seems like there are times it's going to be there, but I think overall he's going to be a 30% free throw shooter this season.
I used to want Jim Barnett to grab Harrison Barnes by the shoulders and tell him what to do with his game. Now I want Marcus Thompson to tell Jordan Poole that he can be Rodney Stuckey in his sleep, and he should sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, there was a point in the game where he was the person that had taken the only layups. Like they shot the first 17 shots, 15 were threes, I think, type thing. Yeah. So it's just I don't know. I think he's just reaching the limitations of his. Like when it's there, it's there. But I guess he's just seeing like when the pressure's on you. I think it was this game, last two games, because both teams have big bodies around the rim. Even if Detroit doesn't have the best rim protectors, Orlando's a team like between like Wendell Carter Jr. They do have some guys that can protect around the rim. And it's just I don't know. He's gonna always take. I know a lot of people. I think everybody just is gonna be the thing. You see him take more than 8 threes in a game, you're gonna wish he took less. So yeah, I think it could help. I guess I could see it. Yeah, but it is Marcus's thing. Always get on the mid-range, always get into the layups. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I feel like the joke gets to the. I think I take more so with this team, especially with the players, Poole and everyone younger than him. But with Poole's probably specifically, I can probably take the comfort. I try to take the comfort in the long-term development, not knowing what it looks like. But I can even, I guess, how good he is I can accept that he may never be over a 35% three-point shooter again, kind of by season. He can still be an all-star level player kind of year to year.
I think it's another day to day. Like even his bad games, he gets 21 points because he gets to the line 10 times. That's why his efficiency hasn't been awful, even though his shooting or his 3-point shooting at least has been. Is because he's kind of figuring out the other parts of it. Anything else on this game before we do kind of bigger picture though about a lot of it, because there's a lot to get into with all of them. Probably need to talk about Poole's struggles because it's been a lot worse than it's been tonight. So, but there's a lot to get into. But anything else about tonight's game?
Nah. Bigger picture, I got something to open up with. Are y'all looking more forward to PBJ at this point than Wiseman? Like the development wise, I don't know. I feel like his defense is his defense is iffy, but like I feel like on ball, of course, it's not gonna be the first year, but I feel like just he's in the health spot, or he knows how to play off ball defense, or has the knowledge of it already. It's just I don't know. I feel like if he's not on the Warriors, like he's on a team like the Pistons or some shit, like he already has a few 20-point games under his belt.
Yeah. The Warriors figuring out how to be a part of the Warriors offense can take so long because it's not that trying to find a really good role for whoever it is.
Yeah, so yeah, I was on. I mean, he was one. I think early on in the before the season even started. I remember somebody was saying Ron Adams liked him and like kind of what he could bring, which is usually a sign that there's some good instincts there on the defensive end. Like you said, he's not going to be able. He's a rookie. Defending at this level is going to be difficult. But he can really shoot, which is a part I don't think I fully understood until I saw it. But like, yeah, he's like a real shooter. Like he's gonna have enough space to pull and pull. Shot looks a lot like Michael Porter Jr. I can't remember who said that recently, somewhere. Um, but to your point about whether I'm like, I was beginning of the season, there was a part of me that was like, he's gonna get a chance. I think I tweeted this, but he's gonna get a chance. It's gonna look a lot more comfortable than it looks for Wiseman, and it's gonna. We'll see how people react to that as that kind of keeps happening. It's happening at a time where Wiseman's out, and Wiseman has looked not awful or looked like decent the last couple of times, so we're probably not going to hear much in that way. But yeah, I mean, he projects to be one of those Warriors guys that's going to just be a guy 5 years from now that's on the team and knows what to do and is kind of a stalwart type thing. Same pick, he was the 28th pick, Poole's 28th pick. I think Looney was like 28th or something, like Draymond 27. Okay. So it's kind of a guy that get in that spot, a guy who was projected a lot higher to be drafted, but just had an injury, was playing on the injury all last year, just didn't look great. But if you look at what he was before that, he kind of projects like kind of Looney to be a guy who is going to hit maybe that potential he had before his draft stock fell. So, yeah, he's been fun to watch, man. I think he's going to be a good piece. He's even a guy that, like, just during this stretch, like, yeah, he can hit some shots and be tall, man. Let him get some reps in, definitely. But yeah, he's been fun to watch over this little run where we just needed a whole bunch of guys.
I'll say.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Nah, you first.
I would say I ain't giving up on Big Wise, but he is. Yeah, I'm very excited. I feel like I always was excited by the possibility of PVJ, and I my first experience with him was watching the going back and watching some of the USA versus France under 19 championship or whatever it was. Yeah. But yeah, he the role he played in that game, he was huge. Just saw Hooper right away. So just always figured he'd be somebody the Warriors keep around, and it's always cool when it starts to work faster than you think. I guess we can. It's easy to probably temper our expectations for how fast the Warriors can develop somebody by just having Kevon Looney in our face every other game, like just show us that, like, it can take some time, but if you wait, but that thing also helps us appreciate, like, Patrick Baldwin Jr. is a rookie and he's ready to go and will probably play some sort of minutes on this team right away. Didn't see that coming, But it can work out either way, I guess, because of Looney, we know.
Yeah, he's the only one in that. He's like the only main name that's actually getting PT right now, right? Technically, because Lofton hasn't played much yet. I'm trying to think who else was in that game. Like Lofton hasn't played much. Chet's obviously out for the year, and then obviously Wembanyama's
either Ivy or
year.
Sharp. It was like the main guard. I forget which one it was.
Sharp's is another one of those who just kind of doesn't have a freshman year that anything really happens. I don't think he might not even went pro. He might not even went to play college basketball.
Yeah, I don't think he played at Kentucky, right?
Turns out it might work out, might hit for him.
Ivy who played US.
I was gonna ask, so just probably a good way to talk about. We talked about it. We'll see what the injury or what the knee soreness means, but I kind of want to give Clay his flowers a little bit because he had a really good run. Probably it seemed like Clay was kind of back for the most part. The 50-point game kind of caps it, but even around that, like the games kind of before and after that, you kind of. You saw him kind of stepping into the role once the homestand, or at least, starting in the Memphis game, stepping into the role of, like, we are going to need, like, it's on me, Draymond, and Jordan Poole and Looney right now to, like, pull a win out of our ass here, and he he stepped on offense, hasn't forced it, has definitely rode the hot hand when it was there for him, but found his rhythm, and I think he's playing really good basketball, which sucks that we do have the knee soreness. Hopefully it was just he's played a lot of minutes recently. It was time probably for a longer break. Never like it to be a late scratch like that. But, any thoughts on this homestand for Clay? Like I said, I think he's been playing pretty good basketball. Obviously the 50-point game in that stretch. But any thoughts?
I knew it was coming at some point. I don't know. It's especially with all the slander, they see everything now. So I don't know. It was bound to happen. I know as a player, like, it's easy to panic just as fans and stuff, but as a player that also just feels their fire and you get the opportunity, your best player gets hurt. It's just an opportunity to just get more touches and then just actually have the chance to step into like the main or just the star role was free. Like it was up for
Yeah.
grabs pretty much. And I felt like it's not surprising he was the one to grab it.
Yeah, 100%. I think on the other thing that we mentioned during the game, we mentioned Lamb, but I think that was the other thing that's been interesting about this. Kind of just pulling the good that's happened and why, like, how do they win 5 games in a row? I think Clay's obviously one of the most important pieces.
Yeah.
We'll get to Dre in a second, but Poole or not Poole, I'm sorry. The two-way guys. Two-way guys have been really interesting. I don't know how we want to talk about Anthony Lamb. That's always just a weird topic in general to speak about, but you can't kind of deny that Jerome and Lamb's off really just their overall play, but definitely what they've been able to provide on offense the last few nights or the last probably 4 games or so has been it's way more than you expect to get out of a two-way spot. It's been absolutely necessary for this team to win games, and yeah, they've looked like guys that can go out there. I mean, you got to assume at least one, if not both, are getting the full guaranteed contract because you only get 50 games with them as two-way guys here, and I can't see them getting through the end of the season and not being able to play them most of the games the rest of the way out. But yeah, any thoughts? Again, it's hard to talk about Lamb. You can punt on him if you want, but
I finally come around on Lane or like I don't know if the opportunity comes out between him and Ty Jerome, I take Lamb just
yeah,
because I don't know. At this point he's proved he's okay. He's gonna make the smart basketball play. It took a while to just fill him out and shit, but I don't know. Ty Jerome still scares me. Like, yeah, I want to give him his credit and stuff, but I don't know.
yeah.
Ty Jerome out there in the playoffs still kind of scares me.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of the thing with both of them, right? It's like, just you see it today. It's like, you don't, like, it's great that we're getting this out of him, but you never want it to be something you're relying on. Ty's a weird one
Yeah,
because Ty just, the look of it looks
yeah,
looks kind of unathletic at times, but the numbers are really like, yeah, he makes shots, man. It's so surprising because you don't
yeah.
expect it, but he makes shots. He does the Harden thing really well, like just kind of attacking the lane, getting in contact and throwing it up and getting some free throws out of it. He's a really weird player, but kind of like you're saying, just if you're banking on either one, they had Ty Jerome out there for the last defensive possession where. Was this N.B.H who hit the three to beat him? Whoever hit the three for the Pistons to beat him. But it's just like, again, nothing on Ty Jerome. But if you're at a point where you got to put Ty Jerome out there as a defensive sub for your last possession of the game, it probably speaks to how things aren't where they need to be right now as far as the depth and everything like that, which injuries do. But yeah,
What's
no.
wrong with Kaminga?
They called it a foot sprain or a foot contusion. I think sprain. They said it was. I think they said it was swelling. So like he had a boot on. He had a boot on for like the last 2 games, but he didn't have one on today. So progress probably. But yeah, no. That was the other part. If we want to just do a injury, I want to talk about Draymond at some or down. Any thoughts on the two ways before we jump into that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Again,
So
we
I
don't have
mean,
to
I feel
talk
like it's
about
good.
Lamb if you don't want to, but yeah, go ahead.
No. I think it's a good time opportunity to use careful words. But with Lamb, I feel like last time I kind of talked about Kerr and the organization and questioned whether they have been transparent enough with the situation. And I was trying to think while you were talking what I would say this time, and thinking I wanted to say something about Lamb and the situation the Warriors are in, I guess. And I definitely read a little more about the case of sexual assault that he is involved in, and come back to the words that I want to share, being for this individual more so having learned more about, for me, learned a little bit more information about the case on my own. Uh, Still to go back to Lake and Turf and Myers and to say, you guys can always be doing a better job and being more transparent and giving more careful words to your fans about this situation,
Yeah.
especially you don't want to look up and have him be in the playoffs and have him have millions and millions of people learning about this player on your team and a situation that he's involved in when you could have shown careful words about
Yeah.
the situation ahead of time to yeah to honestly even to yeah just to yeah, transparency. I don't have to use any
Mm-hmm.
other words. Really, that's the word. That's the word that's coming to mind. Is to transparency is an evolving journey, and and it's something I think important. It's on top of it, the Spurs and the Warriors are showing me
Mm,
this year. I guess it's important for the NBA. You know, all sports league have a false sense of transparency. The NBA yells about their transparency, and it's to see it on the micro levels in big ways would be to look at what's happened with the Spurs this year and the toxic work environment that they the toxic work environment issues that they had, and to look at the Golden State Warriors and to say are these two organizations a part of this league that is overall claiming to be so transparent are two of its most transparent organizations, the Warriors and the Spurs, being transparent enough. And I would say they are not. But I said that they are usually trying to get better at that. So I will see if they do continue to get better at being transparent about this
yeah,
situation and any situation going forward.
yeah, and
All right, that's it.
I'll just say to
No, go
clarify.
ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I'll just say to clarify that they've, I mean, from the jump, have said that they're approaching the situation following the NBA's lead. So like, it's not like they've like signed him and hope nobody found out about the thing. They from
Yeah,
kind of the jump like said like, yeah, this is the NBA said he is eligible to play basketball. We're going to treat that situation that way. And to your point, I think the bigger point to always take, what I probably get with all this stuff is just like, yeah, man, just these, none of these organizations are things to aspire to, I guess, like in general. But it's like, it's every sport, every organization. It's not, they're not any different. Like you said, the NBA catches heat because they maybe at times push themselves. I think they're learning to not anymore because now they're just kind of getting hoisted on their own petard. I think that's how the phrase goes. Petard, whatever. But yeah, no, it's just always like, I feel like it happened with the Sarver thing. It happened with all this. It's like, this is the organization. This is how this organization works. There's a lot of stuff happening behind the scenes that we would all find incredibly offensive. The way these players feel about certain stuff, the way these owners feel about certain stuff. If we actually understood, like, it would feel tough, like the stuff to deal with. So it's always going to be a reality of the situation. It's tough when it kind of is your team. Like you said, I think what you're saying is just Warriors are trying to do a good job of like not putting the fan in a situation where they got to deal with it day in and day out or whatever. But that's more of a luck than anything else. Like probably anything that your organization has. And it's like, I don't think any team that didn't pick up Anthony Lamb doesn't have any virtue. They just didn't have the thought that he would be effective. They thought he could be doing this for them. Probably would be thinking about putting him on the roster. It's just how the league works. It's how most of this stuff works. So yeah, but yeah,
Mark
so
Jackson rolling over in his grave. Oh wait,
uh,
no, he had a little situation too.
wait, who'd you say?
Mark Jackson.
I was thinking Mark Jackson has a situation with the Warriors. Monte Ellis has. It never ends.
Ah,
Okay.
Mark.
Uh,
Mark had a couple situations.
yeah. But yeah. So I think the other thing I want to get to. I
So
have a
that's how.
question.
Oh wait, sorry. Last thing, because it's just funny. That's the first time they put themselves on the goddamn pedestal. Warriors started putting themselves on the pedestal before they even won anything. Was I feel like the false sense of morality that people can get from judging black Christians, but just whatever the hell Mark Jackson was doing with his
Yeah.
life,
Well, yeah.
like
I think it's
gave the Warriors. Gave the Warriors organization a sense of morality, I guess, that a false sense of morality because like
yeah,
you're
and it's like
capitalist.
a
Like you're
thing,
not doing anything special,
and
you know,
like
by the way you do it. But just because
it's,
Steve Kerr has a nice smile and uses words good, you know. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's one of those things that just all organizations do, right? On their, or not all, but some organizations like some kind of operating like the Celtics do it a lot, where the Celtics trade a guy, or the Celtics fire a guy or something like that, and there's a lot of slander pieces that they kind of send out to the people, like they tell all the stories, kind of so all the stories
Mm-hmm.
get out. So I can see the Warriors, especially the Warriors, are trying to like convince Steph to do a thing that he doesn't want to do. So they're kind of, that's how they
Yeah.
PR wise get ahead of that. So like if the Steve Kerr thing doesn't work, like they have that kind of to fall back on.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like you said, false morality or whatever, you could look at it with a lot of that because that is the NBA. Okay, so here's my question about this last little run. Maybe think, is this is this Draymond's best season since 1819?
Yes.
It's the best he's been.
Wait,
I would agree. The
what was the
1819 was
1819?
the champ last time they were in the finals.
Raptors
Yeah,
champion
okay.
this year. Last year with KD.
Yeah, pretty much. So since KD has left, is this Draymond's best year? I would
Yeah.
agree with you that yes, it is. But go ahead, or Daniel.
Oh, yeah, but I guess it's to say we got here, and I don't know how I feel about Clay and Dre. I feel you gave you give Clay's flowers. I think they both deserve their flowers
Yeah,
for
what's the
what
point for
what
Draymond?
seasons
Yeah.
they've had to this point. Because it feels pretty, yeah, it felt pretty unexpected in different ways for both of them to really come back. But he's still Draymond's more frustrated. He was just way too trash. He was trash. Now I'm seeing like, bro, why were you? It's bad. Why were you stressing us out these last couple of years? Anyways, Draymond's amazing. I didn't think he had this much left in him, and I hope now at this point that we can just stop this. Making the decisions. I think for the future stuff, I feel like the transition into the next thing was unclear, but because of the way Draymond I felt like Draymond's game was descending post KD, like that eventually we'll have to move on. But now it's just I don't know what fuck happened with this team. I know they're gonna win a lot, but Draymond's still a part of this.
Yeah,
Very
definitely.
much. Still, I mean, anchor. Still the anchor. I guess I had to. For me,
Yeah, I
I
mean,
was so ready to move on from it because of how bad he was on offense these last 2 years since the 18. He here.
yeah,
He here.
yeah, and I wonder aggressiveness on offense is always going to be an interesting thing to try to kind of wrap your head around. It's a basketball psychology thing. It's whatever Rondo not wanting to attack the rim after Obama made fun of him missing free throws, Ben Simmons' whole thing. Like, there's a lot goes into like whatever
The Rondo
the
effect.
the yeah mentality of like not being confident in your ability to score and how that ebbs and flows or whatever. But I was think it's interesting. I get kind of where you're coming with the frustration, but as I'm thinking about it more, I do wonder how much of it is 1920 obviously doesn't feel like he has a chance to win a championship, so he kind of punts that season. And I think that's the one
Yeah.
that a lot of people feel is understandable. Obviously, once Steph
Yeah.
gets hurt, next
It's
year,
just you remember what that year though, just the marker
yeah, I
that
didn't
year.
watch
Remember when
any
he
of
walked
that
in
year.
bounds?
Yeah, I do remember that highlight though. Next season, uh, next season I think he still doesn't believe in their ability to win a championship, just based on like he has Steph Curry. I think when Clay gets hurt, if Clay doesn't get hurt, he
Yeah, that
probably
was
has a bigger belief, but that's a big part. And I think the fact that I
that's
think they
post
went through a training
pandemic,
camp
right?
with Kelly Oubre, and no, this is not a specific Kelly Oubre thing, but they saw the players they had around them and how they felt like guys like Bazemore and Oubre versus guys how they probably felt the next summer or the next training camp with
Yeah.
guys like Otto Porter and all of that in the mix. But then last year,
Wiseman,
and
like
then
what Wiseman,
hmm
Ricky Wiseman
yeah,
coming into that
exactly.
shit, no training camp with the COVID, like he was not seeing a championship team to go in
Yeah.
that year.
And then I would say
No.
last year I think he obviously sees the chance to win the championship. I don't think his body was at a point where he could actually like do it
Yeah, he was
100%.
resting.
Like yeah, like and then like legit missed like a month and a half, 2 months with like an injury. But I think that's why he was probably I think the two. I think that's a big part of why he was better. He's been better this season compared to last season. I think the other thing, like we said, I think you can't put your finger on, but he's just chosen like I'm going to shoot the shots because I need to at least be willing to shoot the shots, or else it just becomes even harder to build offense out of it. And I feel like this is the year he's been. This is the most aggressive I feel like he's been on offense without Kevin Durant on the team because that didn't really count because he doesn't have to shoot anymore really since the 15-16 season. And
Yeah,
obviously not that aggressive on offense because you don't want him to be that aggressive because he doesn't have that ability necessarily. But
yeah.
yeah,
What you
so it's
said though,
gonna be
you just
interesting to see.
can't. You have to put up the attempts when they're like put up the
Mm-hmm.
very clear attempts when they're there. Like when it's there, you just can't do
There we go.
do hmm?
There
do
we go.
nothing. Like that's the I guess that or that's when we think of the Rondo effect. I guess why is it, we could probably do a whole pod probably breaking down or trying to understand the Rondo effect and like each person who probably had gone through a similar thing since him because that could follow a line of how much shooting is changing the game of basketball like right before our eyes and like changing players' careers like within their career they can go from star to something completely different because everyone around them is becoming better shooters. But Draymond is just it's not about being even a great 3 point shooter or being great at layups. It's just about not hitting this point, this long space that he was in the time where he was kind of just trying to do nothing on offense. Like he was doing everything else on offense besides trying to just take the simple shot. Like he was living in the nothing. I feel like now he's just comfortable in that. I'm gonna take the layup, I'm gonna take the three. We're gonna have games where I can just have my 12, 13 assists. Everybody hot. And I only got to score 3 points, but I'm never gonna let that, he's not letting that stop him from continuing his pace he has, which is, getting those layups up within the offense, taking that three within the offense. I want to see how often he takes a 3-pointer in the first quarter this year. I feel like
Yeah,
him and Kerr have a healthy place. But Draymond Green is taking three pointers, taking one 0.5 to 1 3 point 3 pointers a game in the first quarter. And it's
yeah,
like
yeah,
this team is in a good place. But
yeah, man. So
yeah,
yeah, give him his flower. I think I want to shout out him and
Clay.
Clay just because what they've done to kind of help keep this thing afloat for this little 5-2 homestand so far. You guys want to do a quick roundup of the injury stuff? We got Wiggins back today. Seems like looked like he was rusty first time being back in a while. I'm sure that gets better as it goes on. Andre played his first minutes of the year. That was a surprise, kind of coming in, but that was good to see. Any thoughts on anybody's debuts? Again, we talked about the game. I don't think there's anything all that spectacular for any of their appearances. Probably both get better as time goes. We'll see if Iguodala is good to go for Tuesday.
I'm gonna clip this and send it to him and Evan Turner. But you can't play basketball and you can't act. What are you doing, Andre? Like get good at something besides the economy. Group economics ass nigga. All right, that's it.
Uh, what was I gonna say? Steph played. That's probably or Steph practiced full practice. No, nothing holding him back. So it seems like he's aiming for Friday. It seems like no Tuesday, but it seems like I think they got 2 days off after Tuesday. So it seems like Friday Alamo Dome, San Antonio. Most fans at a game in NBA history. It seems like we're getting him back. So seems like the worst of it is almost over. They have Phoenix on Tuesday, which feels like a winnable game just because they're missing their best player, kind of their two best players right now. Well, I don't know, Chris Paul's their second best player, but they're missing Devin Booker and Chris Paul. So we'll see how it goes. Yeah, so last thing then would probably just be, let's see if guys any other thoughts before we do some Jordan Poole check-in, because he's been a subject. He's always a subject of talk. But anything else before we jump into Jordan? Nah. All right. Yeah.
Hold on 1 second before Jordan. I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna roll up real quick. Actually, let me roll real quick. Oh, a little pause.
All right, for sure.
All right, so y'all keep going if you back.
Ooh, I can maybe do a timer. Let's see. Might be a good thing to practice. Oh crap! Dang.
So wait, we still on, huh? We
Yeah.
still on.
Yeah. Why? What's up?
Oh, you got the mic on?
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Why? What's up?
Oh no, I just didn't. I'm not saying Andre Iguodala can't hoop, but he definitely cannot act. All right, that's it. Oh, whoa, all of it. Like, what? Trying to cut something out.
Cutting all of that out.
Wait. What out?
Oh, we're cutting all of that out.
Whatever.
All the Iggy Slim. All the Iggy Slim.
Oh yeah. That's fine. Oh yeah. I should actually mark the time. What time is this on the stream?
Yeah.
Actually, 40. It took around 40 minutes. Okay. Did that fix? fix everything? That did fix everything. Yeah. Switch back to that. It still looks good. I guess I'll be able to catch this right around the break anyway. All the time. We just wanna have a good time tonight. Hey, we just wanna have a good time.
Listen, y'all keep going. I'm about to roll up. A little weird. I'll be back out. Do Jordan full second if y'all want.
I mean, we
Wait
could
on
just
it. Wait on it.
Yeah, just
Wait on it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
Wait for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I found true religion. So, my shirt will never give me this vision. Yeah. Boom, 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 boom.
Top scorer in the G League averages 28 points a game. I thought he was going to be a big. He shoots 56%. He's only 6 foot.
Really? What's his
Carlick
name?
Jones. Carlick Jones.
Carlick Jones?
25. Yep, my age. Yeah.
Huh.
28, 4, and 7.
Carlick Jones. Yeah, 97. Dang. Radford. You remember Radford from that's one of those NCAA schools, right? That from the legacy I think you could start with, or one of the ones you got offered early. This is big R. Remember the
Radford?
big red R? I think that was them.
Yeah,
I think that was them.
Like, they were definitely on the.
Oh yeah.
Or is it? Are you thinking Rutgers? Or is it
Radford was in the mix too. But yeah, I might have been.
Rutgers was one of the bigger
higher,
schools.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, Rutgers was bigger. They would not have been on there on the career one.
Radford.
Wait, that's where he went to college?
Yep.
Oh.
Huh. Windy City Bulls. Oh, he's on a two-way. Wonder if has he played for the Bulls at all this season? This thing weird. It's just crazy they got what they got out of their two-way spots for the Warriors because it's just mostly guys who are just kind of chilling down there for the most part. Every now and then you get somebody.
Who's Kai Jones? Isn't that somebody? Kai Jones.
Kai Jones, he's on the Warriors. No, he was on the Warriors.
Oh,
he was one of them two ways, or he played for the Warriors for a second, but they didn't have no guards. Right?
Kai Jones. Yeah, probably why it sounds so familiar. Is he on?
Plays for the Greensboro Swarm right now. But yeah, I think he played for the. He the big dude. Maybe I'm thinking of the small dude. Who's the small dude? The Warriors.
Nah, yeah, he's okay. He's just a Hornet. You're thinking of
They had the little dude.
Not Ian Clark. Younger than that.
Yeah, it was more recent. They had somebody. I feel like that was that 2021 season or the 1920 season. Some random small dude.
Yeah.
I can't remember who. Oh, actually, not this part. You got a mouse?
Uh, like one you can use right now, or like
And
just in general.
kind of both. But yeah.
I would say the one right here on the Mac. I think this one
Uh,
wired. The one on
yeah,
the
not
Mac is a
is wired. Nah,
wired
yeah,
one.
you good, you good.
Yeah.
No trip. Boom, boom, boom. Oh heaven, how could I forget you? Rose to the occasion one day, plucking petals.
It's called Google Meets, right? Or
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Why was up?
I don't know, I'm writing something out.
Oh, you good? I'm so, I heard but I feel like from jump with this industry from a big on shot for the oh I should do things the right things I should resident independent business. Boom, 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 boom,
Slender Man is back.
boom.
We got to get these interviews, man. You can't do that shit. You gotta wait.
Yo,
No,
yeah,
no, no.
shit. Great acting skills.
We are.
Andre
I
the
don't think
Batman. I was so
you're more
excited to
like
see
me.
the
You don't
show.
realize how mean you sound sometimes.
Such a great appearance. Philly. Alrighty. Alright. Alright, we go. Nope, not yet.
Reggie Bush. Where's my head?
That's consistency, let him. Alright.
We on? Before we get to pool, I got something to say about Wise Man.
Yeah, for sure. I'll count us down and then we'll get it. We're live. I'm gonna cut all this out of the actual, you know. But yeah, no, I'll count you out and I'll set you up to go to jump in with it. Maybe one day I'll stop. I'll figure it out. Maybe one day I'll stop. I'll figure it out.
After
Oh,
him, test, test,
test, test. Say it again.
test, test, test.
Were you using that last time?
Yeah, I was using it the whole time.
You had a clip there?
I had it on
You
the
should go
jacket.
close. You should go closer.
Yeah, no, I have it
Closer?
where you
Yeah,
had it
you was
before.
cutting out
It's
a
quiet right
little.
now.
Yeah.
Unless I don't know. It's actually working. This is what it is. I got the.
Hit
Is
the
it? You
hit
said
the
this is Bluetooth or no?
hit the ear. No, it's not. You gotta plug it in.
Okay, yeah, no, okay, it should be working.
Uh, yeah, wherever you had it the first time though, because I didn't notice it then, but you sound quiet now.
It's not quiet now. Huh. A little further down.
You don't got a plug on your phone, huh? Or do you still have a headphone jack on your phone?
Mm.
Well, I don't either, but
The thing I got him, it just plugs into the bottom of your what's the face, and then it
Yeah.
records you. Oh, you got your little. I see you. All right,
it's stylish.
Test,
all right.
test, test, test,
Yeah,
test,
yeah, yeah.
test,
We good,
test,
we
test,
good. Wait, one more time. My bad.
test, 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 test.
Yeah, yeah, we should be good. Alrighty. Okay. I'm gonna set you up, Jordan, to do the Wiseman thing, and we'll eventually transition to pool whenever that comes up. But yeah, you already? All right. Three.
No, don't tell me.
No, I'm gonna jump in after my 3, 2, 1. You good? But also, oh, that's what he was saying because it went away. Yeah, whatever happened, he's gone.
Oh,
But yeah, tell him you can just leave and come back.
okay. What's that? Yeah. You.
Boom, boom. Maybe one day I stop. I'll figure it out. Maybe one day I stop. I'll figure it out. Maybe one day I'm gonna get at my mama house. No, she ain't here, but I still feel the pressure around. Maybe one day I'll stop. Maybe one day I'll stop.
You and I'm thinking me and you gotta do the verses. Think, me and Mike do the verses, but they
Yeah.
Mike a little Dwight next one. Because he's just gonna keep asking you questions. I feel like it was like really don't got to be about nothing. Just put you on the couch and just let him pick your brain. He's gonna go. He ask you questions about Lupe, rap. You don't know what kind of curveballs he gonna hit you with.
Yeah, where's the button? That's the button. Let's get it. Everything
Do
back?
oldest brother versus oldest brother.
What happened? Why did it? Oh no, that's fine. That was something else. Okay. Why is there no? Ugh, that sucks. Okay, so rotated. I can fix this. I switch this one on, that one. This one goes on. Perfect. This one goes away. This gets dragged down here. Look at that. Yeah, that's fine. Greatness. Okay, cool. My bad. All right, we good.
Yep.
Yep. Wait, can y'all hear me?
Yeah,
All right, y'all good?
yeah.
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Okay, before we wrap up our Warriors talk, we got a couple more things we want to get into. I believe we want to start with some talk about Big Wise, about J Dub. So, any Wiseman thoughts?
As cliche as it may sound, how long did the Warriors have Nash around back then?
Oh, ooh, that was about a year and a half, 2 years. It was probably 2 years as a consultant. He was around for at least 2 years, probably full time for one, or almost
Even
full
without
time.
Nash, in general, the Warriors never really had to develop a big man before. I mean, I guess you could say Looney. Looney's the exception. Yeah, but I feel like a lot of it is Looney. I feel like a lot of it is Looney on himself too. It's kind of just a
Mm-hmm.
match made in heaven. But
Yeah, of course.
that shit, Looney, or I could argue that Wiseman potentially could have been or should be more skilled than Looney, or have
Mm-hmm.
definitely has the potential to be more skilled than Looney. Just like
Mm-hmm.
that shit, Looney fit in with the system. So I feel like with Wiseman, it's like if we're gonna develop him for the future and we're gonna keep him around, I feel like it can't be it can't be about the system with him, and we just got to see where he falls in place. Just developing him as just like a solid big man, just in general. Just and like that shit, we never really had to do that because before Looney,
Mm-hmm.
we always got the veterans. We had
Yeah.
Bogut, like, and I
Mm-hmm.
don't expect Wiseman to be Bogut, which is weird.
Mm-hmm.
Like
But
that
yeah,
shit, I don't feel like he should be trying. That shit, people
yeah,
want him to
100%.
be a Bogut and just play that role, but I don't feel like he should be trying to be Bogut. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like he should be trying to, no disrespect to Bogut at all, but he should be trying to
Yeah, no,
strive for more, just like where he is. I don't know,
yeah,
feel like I don't know,
It's
just
yeah.
you're saying all of
So
such interesting things making my brain go off to just the Bogut part at the end. I'll just say real quick is just it's not that he should be trying like disrespectful to Bogut to say Wiseman should be trying to be better than Bogut, but it is kind of an essence of kind of a lot of word like where the words are out with him, where it is like you do have to shoot for the stars and believe that he's gonna be that. Like if you're taking him seriously and if they're gonna do something with him, like you can't play around with kind of the middle of like how what the range he's going to be. You kind of have to treat him as a future superstar because that player at the end of the day is an offensive first player. And when it's an offensive first player, if you're really trying to get him to hit his potential, then you're gonna have to really believe in all of that potential and do all the work to get him there to do it. It's a different thing than they've ever had to do. When you talk about Looney being a
yeah,
match made in heaven, it's just kind of like the opposite of like what Looney was. It's just to be like
match
he
made in heaven.
already
Yeah,
Looney already was filling the roles and like they it felt like they were withholding Looney from us like kind of what it was. While Wiseman is the opposite, where we're just it seems like there's never a
mm-hmm.
time to actually get Wiseman here that's good for him, you know. And but I
Yeah,
think it's yeah, they're being careful enough, I think, for me. But I hearing Jordan explain it all, I think that kind of thing is you have to shoot for the stars with this dude because he's never going to be Andrew Bogut. The middle ground with him isn't becoming like you play around with it and play around with him never finding the confidence of how good he can be, and he's only going to be a mediocre defender, and that's going to outweigh what he can give to you on a night to night basis. But if you believe in him, that eventually he should get to that. He's 25 points per game, like 20 to 25 points per game, like guaranteed. Like every night he steps on a basketball court from 22, 23 years old, whatever it starts. Like it doesn't stop after that because we believed it, or they developed it,
I feel like yeah, I don't know. I feel like
yeah,
I feel like if he goes to somewhere like San Antonio, it just, I don't know. I feel like if Pop gets somebody like that,
yeah.
is, I
It's
don't know,
different. Yeah.
it'll be a gold mine, like damn near for him. It's just, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the other thing about kind of like what I was saying about PBJ, just like Stephen Curry's
Facts.
coming to the Warriors because you're coming into the Stephen Curry system and you're trying to fit your way into that. It's just like, man, I don't know. It's not even like we don't like these guys. It's like, man, like we know we would love to have these guys on our team, and
Yeah,
like 6 or 7 years, like after they get some
yeah,
just some actual NBA time under their belt, it's just, I don't
yeah,
know. It's a weird balance. Giffen the
you
curse
got to
coming here.
yeah, because you
yeah.
wrestle with the question. There's always an answer of time of like the Warriors could figure out it with Wiseman. They could figure it out with Kaminga. They could figure it out with Moody. It might take some time, but they could figure it out with all of those guys. Whether they will is the decisions they have to make one by one, as they already have. Like they could have maybe taken more time to see what Patrick McCall was going to be, but they didn't think it was going to be worth it, so they gave up on the time. Kind of it's just a matter of like how much time they can and want to give these guys. Wiseman's a big question of time, like that we're wrestling with. Like how
Yeah,
much time do we give this Wiseman experiment?
shit.
Because
Who gets the
it feels like
time,
we shouldn't give him any more time. It also feels like it'd be worth it to give him all the time in the world because he
man?
could change the
Shit,
franchise.
man. I don't know. It's I bounce back and forth with it just because, like, we're a 7 foot. What is he? 7'1", 7 foot, whatever. 7 foot players just don't come around that often. And I feel
Mm-hmm.
like once they get some, I don't know, this nigga's not gonna be no type of. He's not gonna be like a buzz. I
Mm-hmm.
don't feel like he's. Even if he is a quote unquote buzz, it's not gonna be like a Kwame Brown level buzz or some shit like that. Like, he's a 7 footer. He's freakishly athletic, and he's still, what is he, like 20 years old? So I don't know. It's just one. Warrior fans just lay back, let him, if he has to take the time in the G League, even if it's for the next couple years. Just like, feel like we just don't. I feel like I'm at the point right now where I feel like we don't turn our back on just a 7 footer. Just because, yeah, they don't come around that often.
Yeah, so there's a lot of good stuff there. So Bogus talked about this on a few different occasions. Actually, it's kind of the exact thing that you guys were getting at the beginning. as far as like it's a. That's the thing is like he wouldn't even see it as a knock because it's like he's explained the same thing you've explained. It's just that's not the type of player James Wiseman is, and I think to something else you guys were saying, like the reason you can bring up Baldwin Jr. and Looney in this discussion is that they're kind of the same thing. And I think the thing is neither one of those dudes came in as big men. I think that's why they make so much more sense as Warriors bigs, and like why they were able to
Mm-hmm.
thrive in those roles is that they didn't play, they never played big really a day in their lives, like until at least like pure center like big man until they got to the Warriors. Or I don't think what's the face PBJ hasn't yet at all, but I think we can see that as a projection going forward, kind of small ball 5 or 4 type thing. So yeah, no, and just like, but Bogus talked about it, like it's a very different thing than pretty much every other team in the NBA. Like asking the kid or asking anybody, asking the center to play like center for the Warriors is different than playing center for almost any other team. And I think for the comp y'all are saying, it's like it's not like he needs to play like Bogut. It's that his style makes a lot more sense for the guy like the JaVale, right? JaVale's probably the Warriors center that they've had. That's the comp that makes the most sense of what he could find. And yeah, I think come to your point, I think it'll come eventually. Definitely, it's like the size you see it right now. Like the last couple games, or just this whole stretch, like just relying on Draymond and Looney as your only big men for most of the season, and then when you lose even Wiseman and Jermichael Green, it's like yeah, you just need bodies, you need big dudes that can do stuff. And like you said, there's potential there. I think cooler minds prevail, and I think he's riding out at least the rest of this season. I don't know if the trade's coming unless they just really, really get scared of the luxury tax. That he's the biggest number, right? He's the second pick. He's the guy making like close to 12, 13 million now, like on his rookie deal. So that's like the only reasoning there. But yeah, I think we're there. I remember I did a podcast with W, who works at Warriors, who runs Warriors HQ last year, but it was just a lot of talk about that. Just this is a really weird ass situation to kind of have to kind of put yourself through and try to process and go through because he's so opposite of what a Warriors big man. What the Warriors usually look for or expect out of their big man, and when the Warriors have a big man that looks more like him, it is more of a bit like start the first 8 minutes of each half type thing. So we'll see where it goes.
I know his Twitter name is the Big Ticket.
Oh yeah, I follow him on TikTok. That's my dog, man. Listen, that's all right. The last things I would say on the JaVale McGee thing is woke my brain up. You saying JaVale McGee? I feel like it's like to do two ends of the spectrum. Like there's a range here in terms of what the role they're trying to create is. JaVale McGee is on one side of the spectrum. I think the very far other side of the spectrum is Kevin Durant, and that's a frightening space that they exist in right now. Is these two players who they used JaVale McGee, they figured out how to use JaVale McGee to win the championship. Kevin Durant, they figured out how to use this guy on offense, how to win a championship, and never thought we'd be putting those players in the same sentence. But then you have this James Wiseman kid where you have to figure out a role somewhere in between what the hell those two roles were. The two very weird players that did work in the Warriors system, no matter how weird the journey was. And I feel like the play type, the talent level, I guess that's part of Wiseman is kind of the hope is the talent level of this guy being essentially a 3-level scorer is just that we say that sentence, like James Wiseman being a 3-level scorer at 24, 25 years old. Well, I think the closest thing the Warriors have to anybody is a 7-foot player being a 3-level scorer is Kevin Durant. James Wiseman's never going to be Kevin Durant. That's the closest thing in the Warriors system for them to try to recreate something that fits Wiseman and fits the system. But the JaVale McGee is obviously the other side, like Kevin Durant being the side he's never going to reach, but JaVale McGee being the side that I think he's much closer to in the moment, especially as a young player, and that's what he's going to be the next these first 3, 4, 5 years if he's going to fit on the team is a rim run role guy. The better he can get on that, we've seen how successful it can be. Like with JaVale McGee, it's like if you get really good at those minutes you were saying, Mike, like that start to half, whatever it is, the minutes that they're using, the big man, if you get really good at that, you can be really impactful for this team. And I think that's the start of his journey, I guess, is however many years it takes for him to get really good at those minutes and whether they give up on him before he gets really good at those minutes and we ever see a
Yeah,
different
I
role
mean,
start
because
to form for this player.
they're far away, right? It's like I don't think anybody's seeing him passing up Looney for starting minutes anytime soon. So it's hard to
Yeah, oh
picture
yeah,
that world where he does get that opportunity for a while. So yeah, it all comes down to
Yeah.
patience. It all comes down to
I feel
really
like
patience.
yeah, patience, and I feel like the worst case scenario with Wiseman is if he stays around.
Hmm.
I feel like that shit is just also with big men it's harder. But I feel like we expect a lot just from bigs in general. But
Hmm.
just like we were saying with PBJ, he's still young, and it's like if anything, bro, I feel like by the time he turns 24, 25, 26, I feel like he could develop into just a solid, if he learns just how to play defense pretty much, just
Hmm.
like he could turn into a solid defender. Like it's terrible right now. It's going to be ugly for like
Hmm.
maybe 2 to 3 more years. But like,
Yeah.
yeah, man, if you 7 foot and you're quick on your feet as he is, you have defensive potential. And if the least he can do is that, then I feel like yeah, he could just fit into that warrior role.
Yeah, no, I think that's
and
the goal,
JaVale's
and that's
there.
what's
Like,
been nice about his stretch that he played, kind of when they pulled him back up from the G League, is that the first game was bad, but the two after that, he looked a lot more comfortable. Just doing
Yeah,
some of the big man, just like this. Is the I think the play for him is just seeing how uncomfortable or comfortable he looks like in pick and roll, and he's got to try to stop the guy from
yeah,
getting the floater or the shot at the rim while taking away the lob. But the best he's looked at that was the 2 games he played before he got hurt. So if it keeps moving in the
yeah,
right direction, man, it takes, like I said, big man, it takes time. He's young. It's hard to play defense in the
I'd say
NBA, but if it
Shooter
gets there, man, that helps because he's got the size.
kind of shows how tough it is to be a young player in this league, all his ups and downs. But he's gotten like it took him a lot to get here. Like he's gotten to this JaVale McGee place, like where we're surprised with these minutes on the floor that come with the variance, and he can be really bad on defense today, but he happened to be good enough, I guess. Like that's like when we know from when the first time he played and all the games, kind of from his rookie year on that we've seen James Wiseman, there's definitely been more fear of this just can't work. Like he can't be on the court because he can't even get to JaVale level. He can't even get to the JaVale level of being good enough on offense and defense for us to survive the minutes that he's on the court. So it's, yeah, just really taking into that those last 2 games he played, or just the last 2 games he was out there to say he's made it somewhere, and that somewhere is a great first step. You know, to be able to say he he has a chance to be on the court and maybe make the mistakes on defense like JaVale makes, but he can potentially have games that he impacts like JaVale used to impact. He's so young, so we'll just go up from here, hopefully. But yeah, whether how long the Warriors want to wait on this dude, I don't know.
Yeah, that'll be the
He's got
question.
a healthy. That's the last thing. He's got a healthy love for the game. I think there's a lot of people who love the game too much in the NBA. Chris Paul being the number one man, but James Wiseman, I feel like he loves the game appropriate a good amount. Like he like I don't know. He just seems like he has a good love for basketball. I'll leave it at that. So hope it works out for him. Whatever happens in his career.
For sure. Yeah, we'll see how it all plays out with that. Okay, I was thinking about doing Jordan Poole, but I felt like we had a good discussion on lives. We might be able to move on from the Warriors unless anybody else has some more thoughts before we go kind of bigger picture NBA stuff.
Yeah, we can move on. So we do pull bigger discussion. We get this.
Yeah, we
We
talked
get
about him a lot. I feel like everybody's been
yeah
talking about him. I feel like we had a good discussion. I don't know if we need to go back and kind of relitigate
yeah
a lot of that
yeah
stuff.
yeah.
Unless you guys really want, or anything else, just it doesn't be cool. It could be anything else with the Warriors before we wrap up on that part.
Yeah. There's somewhere.
For sure. Okay, so again, like I said yesterday or today, not a whole lot going on in the league. Some interesting matchups. I want to talk about the Lakers at some point. But I think I wanted to jump in. We kind of mentioned both these teams a little bit, but I think they're both at places where we kind of warrant a bigger discussion. They played yesterday, and then New Orleans played again today. But yeah, Brooklyn and New Orleans. I think it was an interesting game. I was surprised. Yeah, let's start with the New Orleans side because that was the part I was most surprised about. My thoughts with New Orleans going into that game because that was the first game after Zion went out. Zion was out for about 3 weeks. I think said 3 weeks until the next evaluation with a groin or a hamstring, one of those two. Ingram's still out, and just yeah, team's been playing well. Team got themselves into that kind of top 3 seed place and kind of jumping around 1, 2, and 3 with Memphis and Denver for the last couple weeks type thing. But do you guys see them being able to hold up? Do you think that New Orleans team can hold up with kind of the depth they have with just CJ essentially like as the main like kind of thrust of the offense or thrust of like the scoring. They have a lot of depth. They played that Brooklyn game pretty close. Lost I think by like 10 today. Um, to the Mavericks. So does it kind of go bad for them? Do they fall closer to kind of like the Warriors, the Kings, and the Mavericks in the standings, or are they able to kind of stay up top without Ingram and without Zion for this next little stretch?
I like that roster. I feel like a lot of what on the pod and off the pod talking the last talks I've had with y'all about them, just how deep, sneaky deep that team is.
Mm-hmm.
And did you? That's what I was gonna say. It wasn't listed if I wasn't listening enough. It's just Bi and Zion. Is anybody else out for that?
I don't think so. I mean, there probably is like other names
A
definitely,
little,
but as
yeah.
far as like
I
their
think that you
main
know of.
rotation guys, I saw Murray, I saw Jones, or not Murray, I saw Murphy, saw Jones, Alvarado. Pretty sure I saw
Yeah,
Jonas out there. Definitely CJ. So
yeah. I don't think I think with what I feel about them now is I don't think they hit a rock bottom, whatever that is. And I think they stay pretty far away from it, even though it's on the table when you're missing your two best players. And I think the potential is that yeah, they find themselves stronger out of this because of wins are like, no matter how close or far away or how close to 500 maybe they are, or how much better than 500 they are in the stretch without them. I think this is a young team, so they're going to learn a lot about kind of how to win basketball games and pair that with Brandon and Zion after. I feel like no matter what, they're just going to be scary whatever seed they end up landing, whatever however the season ends up going for them.
for sure,
Like they're
just
going
say
to be
CJ didn't
scary.
play today actually. So I don't know if that's a
Ah,
long term thing. But CJ didn't play today. Jordan, any thoughts on New
Or
Orleans? Yeah, you're gonna need it from him
uh, it's scary with no Ingram and Zion. I feel like with how they were doing with at least one of them out there, it's I don't know. I kind of expect to see a drop off, but depending just or how much long, or how long are they both out?
I don't have a timetable for Ingram, but it seems like it is like kind of doesn't seem like it's
serious.
anytime soon for the next reevaluation date, at least like next couple weeks. Zion's getting
Yeah,
reevaluated in 3 weeks. So CJ just got a rest day, so I think CJ is still around. But yeah, but yeah,
damn,
it's gonna
three
be
weeks.
at least 2 weeks I think without either, definitely. So
Yeah, I expect them to see a drop off then, but yeah, I don't know. Come in after All Star break, probably. That's probably their best hope. Just come in strong after All Star break, just with everybody healthy, with a full roster and everything.
yeah, no, I'm kind of with you on that. Other side of that, they lose again. Played a pretty close game against Brooklyn. I was surprised how well they kind of competed in that matchup. But kind of other side of that. So we talked a little bit about Brooklyn after the initial parts of their run. But I think they're kind of just fully here now. If we kind of look at the standings, they're pushing the Celtics for that one seed. They're back in the mix. I think they had 12 in a row at one point. Did lose the other day, but I think they ran 2 games off after that. So I guess we talked a little bit about it. I know we kind of have our feelings, but any other thoughts about I guess where this team finishes regular season wise? Are they going to sustain this? And playoffs is always hard with them because who knows what they're going to look like. I guess that's a good way to put it. If they stay relatively intact, do they have a chance to win a championship? And then I guess what are your chances are that you think that actually happens?
Jordan, you
Very
first.
tough one.
So me, I'm a freestylist and my thoughts in my head. Brooklyn Nets. I'll stick to what I've been saying is no matter how cool it looks, how good they look now, I need to see what status they are in the last month of the season. Even though I'm
Yeah,
believing more and more that that's a scary thing, whatever that is, but they still feel pretty fragile to me. They feel less fragile than they've ever felt before, but it still feels like a fragile thing. And what was it? KD got a black coach, man. I don't know. This might be the truth. This might be his year. But
yeah. It seems like somebody said it got as bad with Nash that they were just like Nash would try to like go for the dap up like in and out of timeouts and they would just ignore him. So it was getting ugly, man. Yeah, no, seems like the vibes have been immaculate, much better. Seems like things are coming together, man. Yeah, no, we talked a lot about them. We didn't have to give too much more if we didn't have any real thoughts. I think, like I said, I think we all think that if it does stay together, they are capable of doing some damage in the playoffs. It's just, yeah, who knows how what it looks like by the time we get to April and
I
May.
guess what's important to talk about because either either we're doing the Kendrick Perkins thing, I guess. Either we're that, or either it matters the most, or it doesn't matter at all. Um, what's their big man situation? What's this Kevin
Oh,
Durant?
Nick
What is
Claxton been
Kevin
hooping.
Durant?
Nick Claxton top
You know,
five
okay, that's why I just couldn't
decoy
see the
thing for
words. Yeah.
people been saying. Yeah, Nick Claxton
Okay.
He
been
cut
getting a
his
lot of
hair,
love for his. Yeah, he did that too. But yeah,
cut
they've
his
said
hair, and
his
started hooping.
like people. I heard somebody justifying the Jared Allen for putting Jared Allen in the James Harden trade. That's
Whoa.
how good Claxton's been looking. So
Whoa.
they've been
Whoa.
hooping, man. So
Whoa.
we'll see. Yeah, that's what I'm
Hey,
saying.
hey,
That's probably
hey,
their biggest
can't you have both
transformation
of them?
is they play defense now. Like just that wasn't
Yeah.
happening earlier in the
I was
season when
wondering
they was
how they
coming
got
together.
there,
But yeah,
and I guess wondering if we're talking about them as a contender or as
hmm
a the main contender, as a favorite. You know, them winning the championship. You know, I think
hmm
that crossed my mind. But I feel
yeah,
like that's saying the old school mind is like how much Nick Claxton was like, is he? I
yeah.
guess yeah, to be more specific, how do we think he's pairing up against? You know, the
Well, I mean
him
that's
and
the
KD
other.
are pairing up against Giannis, pairing up against
hmm Uh,
Cleveland.
yeah. I mean, well, size. I mean, that's the thing. If you can throw out, I think if you have the thing we've always learned, you just want to have a lot of bodies to try to stop. You can't stop him, but you want enough people that you can put in front of him. And if you got
Yeah,
Claxton, you got KD, you got Simmons. You know, those are 3, 6, 10 and ups that are gonna try to stop him. I
him and
don't know.
oh yeah,
Yeah, that's the
forgot
other
he's
part for
the
him is like
factor there to the front court.
yeah,
Yeah,
because like they have Claxton at center, but then they also can do they can do their version of like what the Warriors do, where Draymond becomes the kind of sole big out
yeah,
there with Simmons and KD at 4 or 5. So they got a
yeah.
lot of
Okay.
options with that, man. We'll see how it goes. Okay, other one. The I don't know if y'all saw the Hornets blew out the Bucks yesterday. That was weird. Hornets blew out the Bucks yesterday by about 30. Giannis, I think it was like Giannis' first game in a long time, having less than 10 points in a game. But yeah,
You
so
got the
my
box.
I
You
can
pulled the
pull it
box
up.
for you.
Yeah, I'll pull it up. But I had to. Y'all want to
My bad.
start? Y'all want to start with the Bucks, or y'all want to start with my question? I have a question about the Hornets. You want to start with the Bucks though?
Question about the Hornets.
Okay, question about the Hornets. While I try to pull up the box score from yesterday. Um, Simmons said something interesting. I was listening to Simmons on a pod sometime this week. Um, he was just talking about how Melo's shooting like 11 threes or 10 threes a game right now. And like I've like noticed you pretty efficient, or like Fitz may have been saying when they played the Hornets the other day, like pretty efficient. He'd be like shooting around 38% from three. But Simmons was saying he might have the second half of this season might get kind of wild with just what Melo might be able to do numbers wise. So I guess my question is there a leap? Is there like kind of a mini leap or a leap to kind of another status for LaMelo? I don't think the team's going to be winning anything this year, but like statistically, is there another level he maybe hits? We saw him play this week if you watched him play the Hornets. So see another level for him to maybe hit offensively, just as a scorer and definitely as a passer. As the second half of the season gets started. Any LaMelo thoughts?
Man, Jordan. You go first. I think I might go. Uh oh yeah. Yeah, no, I think talking to Ryan about Lamelo has kind of made me realize maybe I've been.
Mm-hmm.
It's point guards. There's too many good point guards, and we've been dealing with that, trying to wrap our head around having a lot of great point guards. You know, since I feel like Steph Curry came in the league, it's been overwhelming. Like the point guard position, like overall, it's been pretty overwhelming to try to figure out. But especially now, Lamelo though, like Ryan helps me see that. Been helping me see that he's closer to the I guess he's closer to the Luca and Ja. He's not that tier at all, but he's interesting for what his potential can be and what he's probably doing and developing this season specifically, where he's headed. Just how close can he get, I guess, to that what feels like that tier, and maybe he can separate himself. Well, I feel like with the size and what his game is, like, can he separate himself from where I feel like he's in this category with a lot of great guards with Darius Garland and like Trey Young, even like all these kind of this range. I feel like it's so kind of clear when I talk to yes, yeah, we talked to Ryan. I feel like that the potential for Lamelo is still there to be, I think, a gap ahead of those guys, and I think I feel like I was crowning Halliburton as kind of this guy that was going to be the guy that jumped ahead. Like he's this guy that's he's closest to Ja, like from the point guard position. He's closest to Ja, I guess Ja level, you know. But I think LaMelo might still be the closest, I guess, or LaMelo might still be the guy, or Halliburton, I guess. Halliburton and LaMelo for me now are in the same category, I guess. But Halliburton's just hitting right now. The
Mm-hmm.
potential, I guess, is still the same. I still have that potential as better than a lot of those little guards that aren't John Morant. But,
Yeah, no, I think that's a good way to put it. I think the thing that John Luke could bring to the table that he doesn't is the interior scoring. But that's the weird thing with his three ball coming together. Like looking at, so they
mhm.
beat the Bucks yesterday. He goes 7 for 13 from three and 1 for 8 from two. And it's going to be interesting because I think he knows his limitations as a 2 point player. He knows he has to get him up. Like he's going to try to. He's working. He's trying to get that floater and those finishing down, but it's not his
Yeah.
strong suit. He's kind of weak around the rim, but he is more than willing to take the three ball. Like he's one of those guys that has no hesitation. Like yeah, I'll take 11 or 12 a game. It makes sense for me too, especially because he's hitting now. And the thing
Hmm.
I think he does that a lot of other people in the category don't do, probably besides Halliburton, is just the level of passer that he's capable, distributor he's capable of being. I think it's a good comp. I think Halliburton brings a lot more on the offensive or on the scoring end than LaMelo does, but LaMelo also probably brings a little more as a passer. But they're both kind of elite in that space. So yeah, no, it'll be interesting second half for LaMelo. I want to see how it comes together, and he might be adding another piece. In Victor Wembanyama or somebody else this summer. Also, don't know if he's gonna be in Charlotte for this after this contract. We'll see. I can't see him lasting for long. Okay, Bucks. I just this is my weekly. I don't believe in the Bucks thing, but yeah, they've been struggling, man. They're like 12 and 13 or 13 and 12 since like they started like 10 and 0 or whatever. So I don't know. Just any other thoughts? I just always like to point out that as much as I believe in Giannis, I do not believe in Bud, and I'm concerned about whether this team is gonna go like if Giannis was able to just overcome the shortcomings of the thing that Milwaukee has built and the coach they've kind of chosen to guide it in a kind of down year, and whether they're gonna kind of fall prey to the stuff they fallen prey to in the past when Bud is leading the team. But yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there. They keep losing. They haven't been playing great basketball since the hot start to the season. So I just wanted to point that out. Any thoughts on them?
Shit, it's just a lot of teams in the East that you can lose to. Is I feel like you're in a bad situation. It's just
Yeah,
I don't know. It's just
yeah, it's
I'm
a
not
strong
saying the
East.
East
Yeah.
is like the West is. Yeah, the West is on another level, but like the East has a lot of
Mm-hmm.
teams just with hoopers on it. It's just a
Mm-hmm.
lot. It's too much teams I could see just in a playoff situation, just young and hungry, and even
Mm-hmm.
teams just like the Cavs and stuff that I
Yeah.
could just see beating them in a 7 game series when it comes down. Just
Hell,
when it comes
even
down to it.
Pacers, man. You never know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's teams like that
Hmm.
you don't
Pacers.
expect to win those series, but end up might be able to compete more than we think, just because of what's going on.
Yeah.
Like you said, I think it's a good point. This is probably the best the East is. Like the year that Giannis wins the championship felt like a down year. It felt like a down year because there was no LeBron and no Steph. It was probably more of a transition than anything else. But this is probably the strongest the East has been. Like actual, like they're actually better than the West for the first time, like in forever, essentially. And that's the East you got to try to get out of. And they haven't necessarily looked great, at least for the last month or so. So again, that's all. I just put it out there. I want to stamp my side on like I don't believe in the Bucks, man. All right, a couple more, then we'll wrap up. I don't want to go too long with this one. And if y'all have anything else y'all want to throw in, feel free to let me know. But or else we can keep rocking with it. Um, Knicks beat the Raptors. Knicks almost blew a game to the Raptors on Friday, but we got to see the Raptors. That was the only win the Warriors had on the road trip was against the Raptors. Um, is it kind of a wrap for their season? I think they're under 500 still. They just seem to can't. They seem to not be able to put it all together. In a way that I think we all assume they'd be able to because we've seen it in the past in the post Kawhi thing. But yeah, is this post Kawhi thing kind of running out, and do they need to make a move? Where are we at with the Raptors? You ready to rap?
Bring in the tanks.
Oh yeah,
Nah,
yeah,
nah,
yeah.
nah,
I
nah.
got
No,
nah
I'm
for
saying
that.
bring in the tanks
Yeah,
here.
yeah, yeah.
It's feel like they gotta just
Overtime.
restart.
Yeah, or you say something else, Troy?
Nah.
Yeah, I would say not to put it on them, but I hope that the Raptors are bottoming out in this. I feel like to kind of connect back to what we were just talking about with the Eastern Conference. The East is feels like it's better than ever. I feel like it's keeping up with the West better than ever, and yeah, like you said, even better than like these last 2 years. I've had these
Mm-hmm.
moments in time where it's like, oh, it's the better conference. Or I wouldn't be mad if somebody looked at it either way, which I think that's
Mm-hmm.
very rare. I guess the time of basketball we watch, but to christen it or to really know we're here, the icing on the cake, say Miami Heat, Toronto Raptors are
Mm-hmm.
watching the playoffs at home. No more of that grit grind your way through a garbage ass Eastern Conference to the playoffs just because you can. Because you can. Like, nah, there's some talent now. Like y'all ain't gonna just play a bunch of ugly basketball, go and develop, find Duncan Robinson and what's who, Pascal Siakam, whoever these dudes they find and they turn them into whatever. It's like not just you got to keep getting better. So like the Raptors and the Heat are going to keep getting better. I'm not saying they're done, but I feel like this might be the one season that transitions them into a wake up call of the Eastern Conference is better. Y'all need to be better. The Raptors will work out perfectly. I feel like they're gonna get a pick. Like whoever they get, they could have been that.
Yeah.
Miami, they got to get through some of their ugliness to figure out. They paying people now. They Miami's deeper in the ugly. Toronto's just trying to have fun, like,
Uh,
but they just
yeah.
what do you say?
Well, I would say at least
No, go ahead.
like I kind of see your point, but I think Miami does have more of the track record of why Miami is 21-19 and kind of sitting right there like a game out of the sixth
Yeah,
seed, and they're in the mix. Where I didn't
they're the
realize
ones
for
I'm hoping.
Toronto, I didn't realize Toronto was that bad. They're 16-23. Yeah, I don't know because they really the thing that you're saying that I think they kind of just are good at it, man. Max Struess, Gabe Vincent, they just keep finding guys that can just contribute. They got one of those twins, the better one. He's over there now, Martin twin. They just got a
Yeah, they're
basketball
so
team full
annoying.
of
I mean,
yeah.
they're. I mean, if I paid
They have
attention
their
to
own
them, I
Jordan
would just
Poole.
appreciate them, like how much they find hoopers and turn hoopers into hoop. Like, but and I think too, why are we even kind of there's no point of trying to ride the Miami Heat off or try to figure out who the Miami Heat are until we get to the point after the All Star break where they have a chance to
That's
beat
what
up
I'm
on the
saying.
Heat
Yeah,
because they're in better shape than everybody. So like
that's
we
the
haven't
thing I
even
think is
seen.
coming. Yeah,
Yeah,
they
It's not
haven't
even
had a
like the
healthy
real
Jimmy
Miami
for
Heat.
real.
It's just the Miami Heat that eats their vegetables and tricks us.
Yeah, no, I was saying I think the second half thing's probably coming with them too, and it's probably just what it comes down to as well. Is I think it's weird because I think this guy is definitely a good coach. I think he was maybe got pushed. You win a championship, it does that for you. He got pushed into maybe elite territory where maybe he's not quite there. I think it's been there are fans of the Raptors talk a lot about not necessarily seeing enough creativity on the offensive end, but I think just Spoelstra's like levels ahead of Nurse is probably what we've learned like over the last couple of years since the last championship Nurse won, and that's why
Yeah.
I probably have more confidence in Miami's ability to kind of keep it at least somewhat steady, and maybe doing their kind of classic second half of the season run. When we come back
What
from
we
All
think
Star break,
about what we do to Mark Jackson or what people do to praise to big up Mark Jackson for the Warriors, we should be doing a whole lot more of that for Dwayne Casey. And the amount of praise we gave Nick Nurse was too much, even though he deserved it. Like Steve Kerr,
mm-hmm.
probably even though Steve Kerr is that dude, and he
Yeah,
deserves the
man,
praise. Nick Nurse is
I
that dude, but
see.
not that dude.
I see what you're saying. You're probably. I wonder if it is a little more your kind of particular Louise because Mark Jackson did not get a Coach of the Year. He did not get another job, and Dwayne Casey got both of those things.
That's what I'm saying. He deserves the praise for building it, I guess. And it's kind of
Well, I'm
become
saying
clear
I think
now
he
what you think
did. I
from
think
Nurse.
he did in a way. I think Mark Jackson gets the lip service because Mark Jackson is on ESPN and kind of talks about it in a way
Yeah,
where
yeah,
you would
yeah,
get that. But I think like
yeah.
around the league at least there is an understanding that Quake
It's
Casey
no,
kind
yeah.
of no is the
Hmm.
person
Hmm.
that was more
I got you.
responsible for building that thing or like putting it like they believed in their system. But I think Casey has shown in a way that I don't think people believe Mark necessarily can. He can be
Yeah,
one of the pieces within kind of NBA two front office 2.0, kind of that whole like we have a lot of pieces in place. We have a good development thing, but we need a coach to be at the head of it. He can be one
Yeah,
of those stewards of your franchise in that way, definitely. So
yeah. He's
anyway,
the
Mark,
I would
Mark,
say the anti-mark. Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
Nick
yeah,
Nurse
yeah.
probably stressed out, and he had to go from Kawhi to Siakam as his first option, trying to adjust to
he's
that.
the
Because
anti-curve.
Siakam, that's the shit, man. Siakam man, needs to go be a third option somewhere. Now they just need
Ooh,
to
you
start
better
over with
hope
the people they got.
Raptor fans do not see this. They will flame
He
I'm
was
just
hooping,
saying,
Raptor
y'all,
dropped
right?
50
man,
the
y'all
other
ain't
day.
gonna win. They ain't not gonna. Y'all not gonna win with Pascal Siakam as the
They be
first
having
option. A
they be having fun over
championship
there.
is not gonna come. If that's what y'all worried about, but I don't know if that's what y'all worried about. But yeah,
Oh boy,
it's not
oh
happening.
boy,
Who you
big boy.
call
You sound like a Lakers fan when I was a kid. I was just trying to have fun and watch Pascal Siakam. Why you trying to tell me about these championships?
Pascal Siakam has a ring. Not
He's a
as the first
hooper.
option, but
He's
yeah,
just
no,
not
I
a
know,
not
I
a
know what
first
you mean.
option.
Nah, I
Yeah,
know what you
just
mean.
It's
This,
Mateos all over again. Laker fans tell me
whoa,
Monte's nice.
disrespect.
He's
Let's
nice.
not disrespect Pascal Siakam, please. I
He
love
Monte,
Monte too.
Ryan Monte in
Yeah,
that game.
Pascal
Ryan Monte.
Siakam's like borderline. Like, did Monte ever get close to making All NBA team? Yeah, no.
Pascal the close this year.
I mean, he's made one, hasn't
Yeah, but I mean, that's Western Conference.
he? Pascal's a hooper, man.
Monte was a hoop. Monte was 25,
Pascal
6,
plays both
6.
sides of the basketball.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. It's true.
Yeah, Pascal is like 20. How much is Pascal averaging? I feel like you guys are big.
I
I
mean,
hate too
no, that's
hard though.
legit. But look at their record. It's just
Oh,
first
that part
option.
I get definitely. I'm just
Yeah,
Monte
it's
Ellis
just not. I
is.
feel like it's more. Yeah, oh yeah, Monteos. I feel like it's just not fair to Nick Nurse, just because like
Yeah,
I don't know, having to
yeah.
make that making that having to make that adjustment, trying to.
I'll
25.7
defend
points
Pete
per game.
Monte till the death of me.
And he did. Yeah, that shit, he's averaging 25, doing the best that he could. I feel like they just need
Yeah, they need
another.
another piece. I just was just
Yeah,
that was more about the Monte. Like we're gonna talk about what
yeah.
Monte, like he's averaging the probably most amount of points Monte ever could average in his career, and he's definitely
Monte was a force on offense. He could have been. Don
six
Nelson
assists,
kept coaching
plus eight
Monte Ellis.
rebounds. Oh man, imagine Don Nelson with. That's the thing for all we give Nurse credit, but also if you gave Don Nelson, Pascal
That's just
Siakam
breaking the
on the
game now.
elbow,
That's
whew,
you're breaking the errors up. This is too much. That's not fair. The top
working.
comparison. Monte
He did it
loses
with
in that
David
way.
Lee. Imagine how much. Imagine Pascal Siakam playing the David Lee role in Don Nelson's offense.
Anthony Randolph. Ooh.
That's Euro
Yeah,
Euro League
yeah.
MVP.
I was trying to hate too hard on Pascal, man. He nice. I'm just like, yo, I tell you what that it was NBA.com, man. I was in the forums in seventh grade trying to tell people I know he's not better than Dwayne Wade, but y'all everybody hating too hard. That's all I'm trying to say. Everybody was hating too hard.
Monte Ellis have it all for sure. All right. Knicks. Other than Knicks are the 5 seed. Knicks have been actually because they kind of got overshadowed by the Nets run, but they were kind of having their run at the same time. Where the Warriors kind of caught both of them last week or week before last, but the Knicks are kind of in the mix. Any thoughts? I know the Knicks are a weird team to have thoughts about, but any thoughts? Julius Randle hit like 5 threes in the first quarter yesterday.
That's not a good thing for you to say. For me to believe in them.
I mean, they've been winning despite
But yeah,
things like that happening. But yeah, that's how it happened the other day. But yeah, no, I don't know. They've been hooping. Just worth throwing out that they've been playing some good basketball. Seems like they might be able to snatch up maybe even a playoff spot. So we'll see how it
part of
goes.
the East being just really good, right? It feels like the East is
Yeah,
really good right now when you're going up and down the line. And why, yeah, Miami and Toronto is so low. Like New York and Brooklyn are both good right now in two different ways, and two different parts, two different sections of the East. But yeah, out there, so, like New York and Indiana probably the two potential like could make some. One of those could make some noise in the playoffs. That would surprise people.
Wait, so 6, 7. Wait, so 6 he has to play in the play in, or is it does it
Seven.
start at 7? Oh, okay.
7, 8, 9, 10.
7,
Yeah,
8, 9, 10. Okay.
yeah. So that was my last thing I wanted to get to. We're looking at the standings anyway. So I feel like we got close to burying them, or at least maybe I did. But the Lakers back. Lakers got a chance. 5-game winning streak.
Bron.
5 game
Very
win
Brown
streak.
Brown.
LeBron doing his thing.
James.
Tied with the Jazz for the 10 seed right now in the plan. Do we believe?
I believe in LeBron. I believe he's gonna get them to the. They're gonna sneak their way into the play in.
Yeah, yeah.
That's really all he has to do, honestly.
Oh yeah, no, he's gonna get all the props in the world. Kind of understandably too, because again, this roster,
Yeah.
this team
He gonna
is
make
not.
the playoffs. I mean, he gonna win the play. He ain't gonna go. He gonna get there. And
Yeah,
this is all
it's
the play.
last
The
year.
plan was
Last
invented.
year, he lost, man.
Oh yeah, he lost. Wait, what is what happened last year? He lost
You
it.
know,
Last.
They lost to the Pelicans. No, who they lose to? They lost to somebody in the play-in. I know that.
What happened last?
Do think was it the Pelicans? Pelicans beat the Clippers. Lakers didn't make the play-in. Is that right?
Yeah,
Did
that's
they
what I
not
was
make
gonna
the
say,
play-in?
right?
Hey, maybe they didn't
His
make the
last
play-in. I was thinking of the Clippers. So the Clippers losing. Yeah,
playing
no.
was invented for LeBron James on the low. This is it right here. This go the end of his career. He got two little chances to make a little. He won the first one right with the
Yeah, he beat Steph or beat the
beat
Warriors. Yeah.
Steph. That was he beat Steph in the first play. Yeah, the first ever first year of the playing. Like this is the year he makes history with the playing again. So this time he on the other end of it. He gonna have to win two games. He gonna win them. Probably drop 50 in one of them.
See, that's how the Warriors felt.
30, 40 years they be talking about the playing game. It's gonna be so regular. It all starts with this LeBron going crazy first two times.
Think West is just stacked though. Might be Sacramento, might be the Warriors, could be the Mavericks, could be the Clippers. It's not necessarily gonna be easy. Might get the Suns though. That
Lucky.
might be easy.
Where's the Timberwolves and the Phoenix Suns at? They in there? Where?
Suns are
right.
7, 20, and 20. Tied with the Blazers and the Warriors 7, 8, 9. So pretty much the 7, 8, 9 is tied. Suns, Blazers, Warriors, and then 10, 11, 12 is tied. Jazz, Timberwolves, Lakers. So those are the 6 teams going for the last 4 spots, and I'm sure Suns, Trailblazers, Warriors are trying to get the Clippers or the Kings up out of there and get into the playoffs actually. So we'll see. Lakers have hope though, man. And LeBron's been hooping. Anybody seen any of the LeBron interview? ESPN kind of made me mad because they never showed anything from it. Actually, they said 7:30, and then it was like 10 p.m. and I hadn't seen anything. You muted Jordan if you're talking.
was it only like 3 minutes or some shit? I saw like a
They
clip
just kept
on
showing
ESPN.
clips. Yeah, and like the clip I
Yeah,
saw you
I
watching, like
only
they
saw
showed that
the.
like 3 different times.
Yeah, that's the only thing I saw.
So
Wait,
yeah,
what happened?
he just wanted to say he's not really a scorer and that he wants to play with his son. That seemed to be the gist of it.
Yeah,
Wasn't much else in there, so yeah, we'll see. All right.
My prediction on this is
Yeah.
Mavericks are not getting home court.
Yeah, no.
I don't really know what happened.
It's very up in the air right now. They've been playing good basketball. Kind of at the same. That's the thing with the Warriors. Or they were playing good basketball at the same time as the Warriors were. If they weren't, the Warriors probably could have been the four seed at some point or closer.
Yeah.
But they just been on a similar
Really
tear.
how? Ooh, that Pelican. Nah, I really feel like it's strong enough. Like Kings, Clippers, Warriors, and Suns are such strong. I think.
I think that was true for every team you said besides Phoenix.
I'm giving them a lot of benefit of the doubt, and I haven't seen them in a while. But
Devin
I
Booker
feel
is
like,
out for a while.
oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah.
How long?
We'll see. I mean, he said like at least 4. I think they said like 3 to 6, like 4 to 6, maybe a week or 2 ago. But it's also like
Yeah.
his groin hamstring. He just he might come back.
Yeah.
It's just I don't know. He might not be right again. I hope he comes back right the rest of the season. But they're trying to
Just one of those,
without
yeah.
him, and it's not looking good.
Yeah,
Chris Paul
that's
left the
kind of
game
the
early
thing,
the other day too. So we'll see.
extended time without Devin is the scary thing. So yeah, them not being as strong with that on the table. Sure.
But yeah, to your point, you could argue maybe the
No, yeah, it's too much to say they're not getting home court. Probably, I feel like even with that one in there, but I feel like Kings, Clippers, Warriors. I think two of those teams can't get in front. New Orleans can fall off though.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's probably if you want to throw the Pelicans in, you go 3 through 9 now. Again, probably not taking the Suns too seriously. I think it's all kind of up in the air right now. I don't think I see the Blazers or the Clippers getting all the way up to 3. Probably not the
Yeah.
word. Nah, Steph's coming back. We'll see. But I think they all could jump into out of the plan. Definitely, they all could fall into the plan. Definitely. So we'll see how it goes. All right. Anything else before we wrap up? Nah, that's good. All right. Let's go ahead and
That's that.
get to our ending. Appreciate you guys joining me. It was fun as always. You guys want to go ahead and do some plugs? Appreciate y'all joining. So if y'all want to let the people know where they can find you on the internet, just your personal stuff, all kind of shout out stuff for the actual pod in a bit. But go ahead. Where can we find y'all on the internet?
That underscore Daniel Doom on TikTok and, and at Daniel Doom underscore on Instagram. Doom and Wonder on YouTube. Subscribe.
Hey, J Bad.
Doom and Sign
There
Wonder
you go. What's your at on? Wait, which one was that?
YouTube.
What's the at on YouTube?
Doom.
Because that's without the at
Oh,
and sign.
Yeah,
I think
it's
the
the
at is just the word. So youtube.com/at Doom and Wonder, all one word.
yeah. I think you can use the and in the thing though.
That's I said that's I thought I said the at symbol. Yeah,
Oh,
that's what I
okay.
meant. Yeah,
Okay, yeah,
youtube.com
oh yeah.
slash at
Slash then, yeah.
yeah slash at there, or you do it with or without that, whatever. Yeah, it works.
Yeah.
Cool.
Underscore Twitter underscore J Badge underscore Instagram underscore J Badge TikTok J Badge 47 and new TikTok for the N.B.H is N.B.H Sports Network because for some business reasons they was not but yeah we had to
Okay.
restart so you feel
NBA
me
Sports
but
Network. Gotcha.
N.B.H Sports Network is the new one and about to start posting on there.
For sure. Okay. You can catch me mostly at the website is the best way. Mike.info. That's M1KE.info. YouTube at Trash Mike. Again, Mike M1KE. Those are probably the two main places to check right now. You can buy my album that dropped a couple weeks ago. That's at Mike.info, M1KE.info, or you can go to trashmike.bandcamp.com. Again, that's Mike M1KE. You have been listening to The Garage, a live show presented by N.B.H Sports. We are now on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, so if you want to catch full episodes, feel free to check us out there. You can follow the show on TikTok at N.B.H Sports Network and follow the show on YouTube at N.B.H Sports. And we'll be back next week, hopefully talking about the return of one Stephen Curry. But until then, I'd like to thank my co-host one more time for joining us. And remember, it all started with a basketball. Peace.
Listen to Black Heroes.
Where's the stop button?